All right, the MAGA Christians in Congress run around saying that there's all this violence on the left. Everybody saw January 6th. Everybody knows who the violent people are. Everybody knows who the gun nuts are. Everybody knows who beats up cops with flags and then takes a shit in the Capitol. And it is the white, trash, deplorable voters of Kanks. And to this point, play this video, Kylie.
9-year-old suspect Billy Cagle arrived at the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport Monday morning. You see him park his truck, and once inside, he takes a walk and looks around. Little did Cagle know he would run into law enforcement.
He seemed to be very interested in the TSA check-in area.
Police say he was only in the airport about 15 minutes before he was arrested for threatening to harm as many people as possible with this AR-15. Investigators say it was in his truck, loaded with 1 bullet in the chamber and 26 rounds in the magazine. His loved ones are who notified Cartersville police about the threats, saying Cagle streamed online sharing his plan with the world.
Okay. Surprise, surprise. His online profile shows that he is, deep in the heart of MAGA. This is a MAGA man. And as angry as you can get about these people, I think it's important to point out that so many people have been so radicalized cult-like wise for this man. Like they're broken. They're really, really sick people that are horrifically broken. Pumps and I know people that used to be really decent people that had empathy for others that now have no problem with children being zip tied. And so there's something about the capitulation and the support of this man that is breaking people, both in Congress. We all see what's happening with little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson, but every single one of you watching knows somebody in your personal life who has become a bigger piece of shit because of their support for this man. And the contagion of the moral collapse is staggering.
It is. And what bothers me when I see this, his family members turned him in. They were aware of it. But is the FBI on these right-wing radicalized websites and monitoring this?
No.
Or are they running around investigating an imaginary Antifa? Like, that's what's even more terrifying is there's no one in law enforcement that is doing their job because they're focusing on a fraction of the violence instead of the overwhelming majority, which is right wing.
Okay, this is wild here. Okay, so here is Smokey Eye sociopath, J.D. Vance, veiled drag queen, Lil Smokey. Here he is talking about the ceasefire deal in Gaza, Israel. And this is so mystifying what he just said, but also not surprising. Play the clip.
Well, Jared's the investor here. I'm not going to give you a percentage, but look, what we've seen the past week gives me great optimism the ceasefire is going to hold.
Okay. He just said Jared is the investor here. Mm-hmm. Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of Kanks. Jared Kushner is the guy that said there's incredible real estate opportunity on the Gaza Strip because Israel would like to expand and then have like a, Miami South Beach type situation. And the fact that he just said it out loud, Jared is the investor when you're talking about a genocide and ethnically cleansing people. And I saw a BBC report that 120 kids were shot by the IDF, either in the head or in the chest. 120 Palestinian kids. That's intentional. That isn't just, all of it's intentional, but they are ethnically cleansing and committing a genocide. And Jared Kushner, Lil Smokey just said it right there. He's the investor in the ceasefire. I don't know that I've ever heard of a war ceasefire that had an investor resolving it.
No, I completely agree. And Jared Kushner, he's pretty close to a Zionist as much as you're going to get. And here's the thing. You've got the Trump Gaza video with Netanyahu and Trump in their bathing suits. They don't give a shit about the ceasefire. They want this war to continue. And him saying, oh, well, I'm really confident it's going to keep the peace. They were fucking bombing each other yesterday. Donald Trump puts on social media, they want to ethnically cleanse and just take it over and never have to be accountable for anything to the Palestinian people.
Okay, moving along. Here is Jessica Tarlov on Fox. And the work that this woman does is just astounding, because so many people that consume Fox News are really cruel, white rage type personality types that think the whole country should revolve around them. So the fact that they're hearing this woman spit facts all the time, I don't know if it penetrates, if it does any good, but my God, she goes into enemy territory and drops truth bombs like this. Play the clip.
This fight is being executed at this particular moment. It doesn't make a lot of sense. First and foremost, the fact that no one can confirm that we've actually been taking out narco traffickers or huge drug traffickers, however you want to say it. And last week when we were talking about this, Dana had just seen the alert that the admiral in charge of the Southern Command had resigned. And he was the one who was in charge of this. And the reporting is that he wasn't comfortable with the mission and had been pushing back within the Pentagon. And do you think he would have resigned if everything was by the book? So we have 32 people that have been killed so far, 7 individual strikes. We know that the Colombian president is alleging at least that an innocent fisherman was murdered. We know that there's a family from Trinidad who's saying that a member of their family was killed. And then it is really important that we have repatriated 2 people, one to Colombia, one to Ecuador, because that indicates that we don't have any evidence to prosecute them, that we didn't know who these guys were. Because if you did have evidence, you would bring them before a court. And I know that you're going to make fun of me, and I am prepared for it each and every day, but drug traffickers also have rights. The law applies. We should have the evidence. They should be charged with something, and they should come before a court of law. And Rand Paul was on the Sunday shows this weekend, and he said to Kristen Welker, when you kill someone, if you're not in a declared war, which we are not, Congress with the war powers, you really need to know someone's name at least. You have to accuse them of something. You have to present evidence. So all these people have been blown up without any evidence of a crime. They're also saying that it's about fentanyl, and people who analyze the area are saying that there is drugs that go through, but it's mostly cocaine and marijuana that are headed actually to Europe and to Africa. So the government story is not adding up.
I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Ground News. It is more important than ever to get factual news. And that is why Jennifer and I use Ground News every day. It is the Spotify of news. It takes all the articles that are out there, puts them in one place. And what's so great about it, it has a blind spot feature that tells you what they're talking about on the right and what they're talking about on the left. For example, on a left-leaning headline that has very high factuality, the headline is, millions turn out across the country for the No Kings protest. Then on the right, you have a very low factuality article that says the No Kings protest against democracy itself. So join us by going to groundnews.com/IHIP to get 40% off the Ground News Vantage plan that we use every day. They're subscriber funded and female founded. By subscribing, you're not only getting a tool we all need every day, you're also supporting our work. That's Ground, GROUND, news.com/IHIP. Again, that's Ground, GROUND, news.com/IHIP.
You saw the 5 all sitting there. But this is really important fact spitting by Jessica Tarlov on a complete propaganda channel. And the fact that you have an admiral that quit the military and that you have innocent people being executed by the United States military in these drone strikes, and the positions that they're putting the armed service members in. And Trump is breaking every facet of America. Every single bit of the American government will be corrupt. And he can have those ambitions all he wants to, but I hold the Republican Party the most accountable for this. The Republican Party post-Trump should be synonymous. When you hear the word Republican, it should be synonymous with Nazis, in my opinion. what he is doing to the military, what he is doing to his own supporters.
Yeah.
His own supporters, what he is doing to the courts, what he is doing to the White House, what he is doing to human rights, the ICE escalation. This is absolutely horrific, and the Republican brand and the Republican Party should never survive this. This should be a nail in the coffin. The singular voice, Rand Paul, saying that these are war crimes, there's not a chorus of Republicans, is really horrific. But I want to leave this for you, Pumps. Pop this up. A European diplomat briefed on the meeting between Trump and Zelensky described it as a mess and said Trump also went on and on about his grievances of not having gotten the Nobel Peace Prize. This is a guy who's killing innocent fishermen and has his son-in-law as an investor in a ceasefire where he is overseeing and funding the genocide and the ethnic cleansing of an entire race of people. All right, buy our book. It's called Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. Pumps popped it up. The link for that is right below in the show notes. Subscribe, like our channel. We'll be back later with more news.